Australian Catholic University is the largest provider of initial teacher education programs in the country. With us, students are given the tools, knowledge and hands-on experience to help them support the growth and development of young minds. Not only do we help our students become excellent teachers, but also confident, engaged global citizens who act with impact and empathy. Our partnership with Teach for Australia is a very valued pathway for our master's students. The Teach for Australia Leadership Development Program sees students working in a school part-time while studying for their masters at ACU over a 2-year period. Students in this program can be placed in remote parts of Northern Territory or Western Australia, or schools in metropolitan areas. Our course delivery is pragmatic and our students graduate job ready to lead in the classroom, bringing contemporary frameworks and tested best practice to their schools. Our Master of Teaching programs are delivered on campus, online, or a combination of both. As part of their studies, our students undertake a number of professional practice placements, which are priceless opportunities to put their theory into practice in the classroom, learning to become skilled, engaged educators.
We became aware of Teach for Australia in 2017. Our principal, David Sutton, was watching an SBS series that was tracking Teach for Australia associates in rural regional schools around Australia. He was highly interested in that show, and at that time we were having trouble filling maths science positions within the school, and we were really stuck. So David decided that he would call Teach for Australia to find out if they could help us. And lucky that he did, because that resulted in us being able to employ our first Teach for Australia associate in 2018. That person was Zoe, and Zoe was able to teach science, and that for us was a big success. The attributes that I see in the Teach for Australia associates is that they're extremely hard workers, dealing with the workload that they have to do at school, the workload that they have with their study. They need to be highly organised and really good communicators. I see in them a lot of energy, vibrancy and passion, which really has an impact on the school and the staff around them. They bring with them like a new level of intellect, which they're willing to share with others. I think from their study, it helps. We find that there are groups of staff talking about teaching and learning and new approaches as a result of having a TFA associate at the school. They also have a high level of empathy with them and seem to understand straight away that relationships are highly important in a school setting. And we found all of our Teach for Australia associates have become part of our school community quite quickly because they bring that quality with them.
ACU support throughout the program was pretty multifaceted. So from the get-go, we had a lot of really interesting lecturers and interesting tidbits of pedagogic theory and academia that supported an understanding of the field of teaching in general. And then throughout the program, we had interactions with academic mentors, and we could seek support through assessments. And those assessments reflected our practice in really effective and practicable ways.
The Teach for Australia program was really attractive to me because it gave me a way to both practice the learning that I was doing at the same time as learning it, and I thought that that would be a really beneficial way to learn how to teach. And aside from that, I really love the mission of TFA, which is to work with schools that are in need of more resources.
So the ACE teaching staff actually worked with us quite a lot before we started our full-time teaching load in the program. In the initial intensives that we did, we saw so many examples of what good teaching might look like, and we saw fantastic role models from the university and in our classes. Furthermore, something that I found really useful from ACU teaching staff was that they would often tailor what they were teaching and their standard curriculum to what we needed to know as we went into classrooms as very fresh, very young and novice teachers. So they really understood the environments we were going into.
The largest takeaway item from the program is that the journey of teaching is all about learning, and to be an effective teacher, you have to be constantly learning on the job.
My largest takeaway from the program would have to be just how finely aligned pedagogic research and academia and my professional practice can be, and I think should be. So as part of the program, we were required to undergo a research task that involved researching first pedagogic theories that might be relevant to our practice, analysing our students and the relevant research population, and then actually collecting data and implementing an academic intervention. That process has given me a lot of insight as to, I think, often how professional practice can be improved, and also like just how young and how interesting and invigorating the field of teaching in research is at the moment.
The partnership between ACU and Teach for Australia works because we share a common mission. Regardless of their background or postcode, every child deserves access to quality teaching and learning. And because of the changing approach to tertiary education as a whole, we know it's more important than ever that we meet our students' needs and offer them different pathways and greater flexibility for their studies and future career paths.